Hey everyone. Before I get into today's episode, I just want to issue a disclaimer that there will be some topics discussed throughout this episode which may trigger some people that will be watching. I will mark them down in the description and timestamp them. So if any of these issues will affect you, please click off the video, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You are here with Ethan, but in today's episode, I am absolutely honored because I have a very special guest joining me for this one. We have Devy, who is
The mindset host.
yes, exactly. There we go. Devy is the mindset host. Just absolutely amazing to have you here. First of all, thank you for joining me. I don't know what happened to my camera there. Did you see that? But yeah, anyway, that was super bizarre. See, look, I'm going blue and everything. So
That's cool.
yeah, I brought you on and kind of just to talk about mindset, maybe what's coming up
Oh,
for mindset, stuff like that.
oh, exciting
There we
stuff,
go. So yeah,
exciting.
so I'm just going to get right into it, like dive straight into the deep end, and ask you, what is mindset? Like, if you were to
Well,
tell someone, what is mindset?
I've practiced this line so much. Like, it's my tagline. So, Mindset is aimed to be a mental health podcast that focuses on different mental health topics from awareness days to me giving my own advice, and especially focusing on topics that I don't think that is portrayed in media well enough. But it's also there for to make sure that people know that they aren't alone in what they go through, and there's always someone to listen to them. Maybe I can't understand everything that they're going through, but even just speaking about a topic or speaking about my own experiences makes them feel less alone, or might make them feel less alone. I don't know.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. It's very special. The name, I'm very curious. What was the inspiration behind the name mindset and the logo?
So funnily enough, we had this project back in college where we had to do a podcast, and it was like a 3 episode long podcast. And I had the idea of Inside the Mind, which was really crazy to look at because I don't think I would like it now. Like, if you told me that I'd done a podcast called Inside the Mind, I'd be like, no. But basically, we had to look at other podcasts and or check to see if podcasts had the same name, and I was like, okay, there's a podcast called Inside the Mind. What can I focus on, and what can I change it to that symbols that I'm talking about a mental health podcast? Um, or that it's a mental health podcast. And I think I was just having a conversation with someone in our class, and they said the word mindset. I was like, oh my goodness, this is it. This is the name for the podcast. The logo, I love, by the way. I think it's my favorite thing about mindset as a whole. Um, not disclaimer. Fun fact: I made this whole logo by myself. Like,
On you made it on an app, right?
yeah, I made it on Video Star. So basically, it's an editing app that I used to edit on and stuff, yada yada yada. But because it's mindset, the red represents, well, it's just a perfect background. And I think any other color wouldn't suit it as much, because it makes the black outline of the brain stand out more. And I just found a random font. I was like, this is beautiful. This is Mindset's font. So that's it. That's the story behind
The logo,
Mindset.
yeah, no, that's absolutely amazing. Very cool, very neat, and fascinating
Thank
to
you.
understand like what your mindset was to making that, huh?
Whoa, good stuff.
Now you've done like a ton of topics, a ton of different episodes. I want to talk to you about the social media one for
Yeah.
basically because I'm doing a project myself about talking about social media. So
Hmm.
I want to kind of ask you, why did you want to do an episode on social media?
Well, I think with a lot of things growing, not so much growing up on social media, because there was a point in time that obviously I didn't have social media. Like, I wasn't born with a phone in my hand, like, obviously. But I think I just saw like the effects of social media on other people, and I thought, why not so much like focus on this? And I think another thing was that I was doing a project on in college, and my topic was social media and its effects on mental health. I was like, look, I've got the research right there. Why can't I just turn this into a mindset episode? Because I love researching stuff. I love putting so much, like, I just love spending time researching new topics or something that I've not learned about as much. This really opened up my mind, funnily enough, to um, look at this thing. And I was like, there is so much things that aren't talked about with this. So therefore, spreading awareness on it isn't going to harm anybody. So that's what I done.
Fascinating. For that one in particular, did you find any interesting facts while you were researching on this episode, or any episodes in particular? Did you find anything interesting? The ones that stood out to you? Any
Um,
interesting facts?
I think if I can remember, it's been a long time since I listened to that episode, and it's been a long time since I recorded it. But I think there was a fact that like 1 in 4 girls under the age of 14 are unhappy with themselves by the like, or it's like 1 in 4 girls at the age of 14 are really unhappy with themselves and how they look, and social media obviously plays an impact on that. And then it was like, oh, 1 in 6 at like a young age have depression. And then there's obviously the one of 2 in 3 people have depression. But there was a thing that I looked at, and it was really like, it really opened my mind. And it was like a quote, and it was like, God, my brain's like trying to rank through the episode without like listening to it. I think there was like a quote, and it was like, social media is like a slot machine because it's addictive. And that's what I was like, it is addictive. You know, like, so many people wake up and their first thought is social media. They spend all their time, maybe not all their time actually, like most of their day on social media, either like doom scrolling or texting friends or watching YouTube. Like, it's crazy because before, I think you look back and you're like, oh, I wasn't on social media that much now, but it's just so much more used in like to modern day society. It's a part of everybody's day life. Everybody's walking about with their phone in their hand. They're like, oh, let me check. Oh, I got a notification. Let me see what that is. I'm pretty sure also, I can't remember the exact number, so I'm sorry for that. But it was like there was a massive jump in statistics of how much social media was used from 2019 to 2020 to 2022 to 2024. Um, and it's all because of COVID. All this happened because of this lockdown and stuff, that everybody, the only way people could socialize or enjoy spending time was on their phone because you weren't allowed to leave the house. And it's crazy the fact that that one thing really put social media to where it is now.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Like you said perfectly there that social media is addictive. It's one of these things that just it takes up pretty much a lot of people's days. You know,
Yeah.
they 9 times out of 10 they will be active on social media. But speaking on social media, I'm assuming Mindset has social medias, right? So where could we find Mindset socials?
Right. I don't know the name of these actually because they all differ, so I don't actually know like the proper handles for them. But if I'm somewhat correct, on Twitter it's Mindset the Podcast, not an extra T at the end because I ran out of letters. On Instagram it's Mindset the Podcast. I think that it might be Mindset like the, but the two T's are together. And on TikTok, I think it's just Mindset the Podcast. Funnily enough, Mindset the Podcast is probably the best thing to look for. Or if you go to my Instagram, you can click on my link tree and it will take you to all my social medias.
There you go. So if you go on Instagram page for Mindset, you can go on the link tree and that will take you to basically what you've just said there. So if you can't get the X one, it will be on that link tree.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if anybody can get that one because who wants to listen to Mindset the podcast?
Yeah,
What's a
podcast. So,
podcast? No.
so speaking on mindset itself, what are your major plans coming up for future for mindset?
Well, funnily enough that you ask, in a few days, what day is it? The 17th? In about 5 days, it's Mindset's 1 year anniversary. So it's been a year since I first launched the podcast. Crazy, by the way,
Ooh,
that is a year already since Mindset's been launched. So for the people that listen to Mindset and or watch, because we're audio visual, that was a new feature this year as well. We love that. Making of Mindset is something that's happened. So currently, I've not started editing it yet because I still need to find so much more footage and all of that. But I'm working on the making of Mindset, which goes back to the very first moment that I had an idea of being a mental health podcaster to all the way where we are now. And just talking about the growth of Mindset and just me growing alongside it. It's so special. It makes me really emotional to think about that Mindset's literally about to be 1 year old. Like, it's surreal because since it was only like a 3 episode project, I am rambling about this by the way, but
no, please
it's
continue.
because it was a 3 episode long project, and I've said for ages now that I really want to talk about mental health or bring light to mental health, because sometimes I feel like it's so surrounded with negativity that there's always positivity that can be shone upon it, and that's all I really wanted to do. But from since I started college, I was like, guys, I want to be a mental health podcaster. Guys, I want to be a mental health podcaster. And saying that, I always had this feeling that, or not even that, I just knew that I wasn't going to do it, because when was I going to have the time to sit down, make a podcast, make social media platforms, make a Spotify account and a YouTube account for this podcast that felt like a fever dream? It happened. And it's crazy because like it was just a dream and now I'm living in it, and the support from everyone who listens to it and or watches it audio visual or like just yeah, I'm speechless. It's crazy. It's been such a wild journey.
Yeah, it is, no, it's been an amazing thing to watch you on this journey with mindset. Um, I guess like to leave it on like massive positive note as I usually do with these kind of interviews. Is there any advice you would like to share, basically to wrap up on, even about starting a podcast or gaining
Oh,
confidence or anything like that? Any advice
this
at
is
all you
exciting.
would like to?
I've never got asked this question on like how to start a podcast, so like this is great. Um, don't be feared. No idea. Yeah, there's going to be multiple podcasts that have the same like idea or format or focus on the same topic, but there's specific things that you can do to make it yours. So I know obviously there's a lot of mental health podcasts out there. Mine's just taken something that I don't haven't maybe isn't as talked about as much in media. So for example, Life is Strange and How It Tackles Mental Health is an episode that I done. I don't think I've seen a lot of episodes on that, or people going in on a deep dive about that specific topic. So the first thing I could say is just find a topic that you're passionate about and make it special to you. There's something that you can do to change it up from everybody else around you. Second of all, confidence is key. You wouldn't believe when I would say that by the first episode of Mindset, I was super shy. You could probably tell that I was nervous because I didn't know where this was going to go. Um, I think the main thing is that you'll grow with the podcast. You'll figure out your presenting style. You'll find out techniques. You'll obviously bump into a lot of errors, and that's okay because with that comes improvement. And the more you improve, the better your podcast gets. Other advice that moves away from podcasting is there's a few things. First of all, talking about social media, take a day off your phone. It can do you the world of good. On Saturday, I took myself off my phone. I didn't text anybody until like 10 to 1 in the morning. And I went for a massive walk. Yeah, I had my phone on me, but I only had it for music and taking pictures. I did not go on social media once. That's a lie. I did, but I posted an Instagram story and then just went straight back off my phone. And I've never felt so refreshed. Never felt so charged. Like I felt like my social battery was at its highest. Um, and it also made me realize that you don't have to text people back immediately. You can text whenever you want to. There's no harm in taking a few hours and messaging somebody, or even taking a day, because you don't know the struggles that somebody's going through. Journaling is one thing that I have really got into recently. So every night before I go to bed, I dedicate. I was going to say 1 hour, but last night I journaled from like 11 till 2, which is crazy. That's like 4 hours. Four? Yes. Three. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Um, it's so helpful. Um, and it's just really nice to write down how you're feeling, and it helps you process what you're feeling. And if you're not wanting to talk to anybody about it, buying a journal is the best thing ever, because the journal keeps all your secrets. The journal has all this information that you can feel safe disclosing it to, because yeah, it's just like a piece of paper, but you know, beautiful. I love journaling so much. It has my heart. Writing down song lyrics that you relate to as well, very helpful. um you know, it's just nice to connect to a song, and just looking at the lyrics, you can annotate it, you can go in a deep dive of why you relate to it, do whatever helps you. I just wrote down a bunch of song lyrics in my notebook last night. I was like, I feel seen, and then I shut my notebook. What else? I have so much advice, to be fair. Can I mention a little bit about what type of month it is?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm taking
I'll put a disclaimer at the start. I will put like a little thing before we
trigger
go
warning.
into. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, for people that don't know, this month marks Self Injury Awareness Month. Now, I know it's a struggle sometimes. I know what it's like to constantly start over. But I just want to also mention that starting over just means you're going to progress. And with every time you restart, you're stronger than the last time. Here's a few bits of advice that I would recommend. Five senses. Focus on your five senses. Taste, eat chewing gum, touch. I usually play with my hoodie sleeves, especially if I'm out and I'm stressed, or you know, hoodie sleeves. Smell, light a candle, spray perfume. Um, that's all I can think of for smell. What am I missing? Here, play music, but make sure it's upbeat. You don't want to feel sad. You're trying to get yourself in a better mindset. You're trying to get yourself in a better mindset. So happy music. I'm missing one. See, put on a TV show. Draw. That can also cover up two things. Draw can cover up as see and touch. Um, watch a movie. Watch YouTube. You know, you get the gist of it. Now, I know for some things it can be really, really hard, where you can't find the thing that helps you. So I always have a wristband, a hairband on my wrist. Snapping it kind of does the same like simulation as if you were to, you know. And Ethan, you sent me some helpful things if you want to mention them as well.
I do, what I'll do is I'll put it in a basically a post on in the description. I will
Oh,
link it to helpful tips and advice where I've came across it, and
yeah,
I'll use it in a pinned comment because there like you said, there's loads of helpful
yeah,
tips out there. There's loads of places to seek
help.
basically help for it, or help for anything, in fact. So yeah, I will put it all in the description. I'll pin the comment, and we'll kind of make sure that it stands out so people
Yeah.
can see.
But I just want to say that you're strong, you're doing amazing, no matter what. You've got this. I'm doing like the mindset intro right now. It's okay to restart. Restarting means you're getting stronger. With every step you take, you are strong. One special quote that I want to mention is, wherever you are, however dark the journey seems, come back. Someone's left the light on.
And that is a beautiful way to wrap this episode up. I couldn't have put it in a better light. That was absolutely amazing. So first of all, thank you so much for obviously taking the time to even come on my channel and speak to me today. It's an absolute
Thank you
privilege
for
to have you on.
having me.
No,
I'm
thank
so
you for like coming on and speaking to me and like
I was so
I've learned
excited about this.
I've learned a lot from you as well. Like over the
Oh,
years, it's just you're a huge inspiration. So again, thank you so much. And
what a
obviously,
sweetheart.
no, you're just amazing. You're a sweetheart.
Guys, the battle's about to happen.
Oh, don't worry, that'll happen off screen. We'll
Yeah,
compliment each other till the end. But
yeah.
as always, thank you everyone for giving me basically the love support that allows me to continue to make these videos, to do what I do essentially, which is basically to help you spread positivity and basically spread love. That's what we are. We're just two guys on the internet. I will link Jay's socials as I do, and I just got a Teams message in the corner, so I do apologize if you can hear that. Yeah, and as always, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video, hopefully with another episode on mindset related stuff. That would be super cool. So, I, awesome stuff. I know. But anyways, I hope y'all take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the next one.